Diane Barrett. I'm here today, 7/26/2021, interviewing Elaine Womack for the BE collection. So thank you. So now, what made you move?
What made us move?
Right.
Because we were happily living in Seattle, Washington at this time.
Where did you move from?
San Jose, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So back in the days, in my 20s, I met a gal named Annette, and we lived in Santa Barbara. We got a coin, a quarter, and said we want to move. Tails, it's San Francisco. Heads, it's Seattle. Simple as that. So
did you do that flip?
We did the flip, and it came up Seattle.
Okay.
Our cars came to Seattle, lived 7 years here, and enjoyed the town.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at Como, ABC Radio and television. So I have a little media background, advertising, marketing. Unfortunately, we did not last, but long story short, I loved Seattle. However, I've got a family in California.
Uh-huh.
So packed up my bags, went back to California, and basically stayed for 25 more years.
So did you go back to San Jose then?
Well, San Jose, Mountain View, I lived in a condo 25 years. I worked in San Jose. My family's from Marin County, Novato, small town, born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was the first mayor of the town. So I kind of had to leave town pretty early. You know, you're the mayor's daughter. Oh, my.
Your father?
Yeah. He was mayor of the town, the mayor's daughter. So anyway.
So because you're the mayor's daughter, did you have to leave town?
Well, I kind of saw an inclination of my sexuality around 16 or 17. And so I thought I should probably leave town. I didn't actually leave until I went to college, Chico State University. Anyway, so I met Myra 14 years ago, talked her into moving here.
How many years ago?
14.
14, all right.
And so I said to her, I want to go back to my place I loved, Seattle.
Uh-huh.
After I happily retired with my second career, teaching sixth graders, 23 years.
What was your first career?
Advertising and marketing, 20 years.
Hey, good.
Xerox, television, radio.
Good. We could use your skills. You may have noticed that.
Excuse me.
We could use your skills.
Yeah, well, I actually have a radio show here.
That's
another story. Yeah. Anyway, Myra said yes, and we moved up here, and we've been happy ever since. So, came back home, basically. That's why I live in Seattle.
Is she from Seattle?
No, she's actually, she's born and raised in Vancouver, but she lived also in California, and I met her in San Bruno, California. Do you know where?
I've heard of it.
There's San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. So you've traveled a bit.
West Coast gal, mostly.
Oh, right.
West Coast, yeah.
I'm from Chicago.
Okay, yeah. I sometimes want to go out to the other world, but I just enjoy the world here.
I'm a California girl.
Yeah, right.
This is a good place to be.
It's a nice place, yes.
Especially it was a good place to come out.
Yeah, well, I came out Chico State University, and it was really nice to do that. Met some great gals. In fact, one of my pictures will be a reunion of the gals. We came out blaring in the 70s. We actually made a movie about being lesbian, and we went around and did panel talk. We talked to young students about it. So there were 6 of us. We had a really great time. It was wonderful to come out with a close-knit group. I think it's very important to find a group that makes you feel happy and protected and safe. If you don't have that, it's a very hard road to go when you're young. I
agree. Sue, who you will meet eventually, was part of my original group. So,
okay.
So, where was your official place of birth?
Oh, Novato, California. Back to that, born and raised in that little town.
And that's where your father became mayor.
Mayor, first and third mayor, and city councilman, 10 years. And we were very, the Womack family was very well known. My dad also owned a fabric store, and then he became a realtor. So if you heard the name Womack, they all go, what? You?
You knew a lot of people.
Yeah, very popular.
How about your mother?
She was, she raised 5 children, one after the other, born 5 children in 6 years. And
Really?
close family.
Busy woman.
It's a woman.
Right.
Yeah, wonderful woman though.
So
Both of
are
them
you
have passed away. Sorry.
still
Oop, you froze.
involved with your siblings? And
Okay,
where are you in that?
where am I? Oh, I'm the middle, the caretaker.
In the middle?
Yeah. Somewhat close. However, they all stayed in Marin County and Santa Clara County, and I'm the only one that left the state.
Mm-hmm. And you're glad you did.
Yeah, because I came back to the place I really loved.
So when were you first aware of your sexuality being different from the regular promoted sexuality?
I know. I thought about that. That's a really great question. I thought that, well,
For some reason, I'm getting a shade of dark and light.
Okay, should I go like that? How's that? That better?
You're good now. Yeah.
Okay, good. You're going to see one picture of me dressed in a spacesuit outfit. Okay. I think that's when I became an inclination. I really, basically, I wanted to be a boy. I wanted to be a boy all my life. Always had more fun. Always got to do things. In fact, when we played Barbie and Ken, I was Ken. Hello, would you like to go out with me? I put the Ken doll in my dad's shoe and I drive around picking up Barbies. Anyway, so
were you fairly successful at that?
I was successful. They all wanted to go out with me. So that was the inclination of my wanting to be different. I didn't feel good about the whole female enterprise, the female world, the rules and regulations to become the woman in your life. I didn't feel comfortable at any of that. I didn't feel like I was part of that world. Every picture of me with the dress, I'm frowny face and pouty, and my sisters are happy. So the inclination of being something different started at a very young age, probably around 7 or 8. The acting out of it didn't really happen until I got away to college, because I didn't know what it was that was affecting me. I didn't know who I was, what I was. When you're raised in a small town, this is not something you look at, right? You don't look at.
Even in high school?
What's that?
Even in high school? Not
even in high school. I mean, I had best friends, gals, but no. I had a crush on my 10th grade sociology teacher, but I didn't know what it was, that who I was. And again, raised in a small town, it's foreboding, like even San Francisco was a foreboding city. You don't talk about that. So, but again, I didn't really have my official first kiss until my college dormitory with Cheryl.
Was she a roommate?
She's upstairs roommate. But we did sign language together, and we were like this. It was like, couldn't separate. We were, just close. And then one day, she takes my hand and she spells in sign language, "Can I kiss you?" Well,
now do that again. Yes. Is that real sign language for that?
What's that?
Is that real sign language?
Yeah. Well, no, it's CAN. Yeah. But the word "yes" is real. Yes.
Okay, good.
And that was it. The first kiss in the dormitory. Now, I want you to know this Cheryl Hartley lives with her wife on Orcas Island, and we're still best friends.
Wonderful. Good. So do you talk about that first kiss when you get together?
Oh, well, not in front of our spouses. But yeah, I mean, she was part of the group. I mentioned that we went around speaking with a little film about our future as female and talked about strong lesbians out there.
So how do we access that film?
I can try to get it for you. I've downloaded a lot of my films on using Legacy. Have you ever heard of Legacy? It's a way to save your old materials. No. So I can that one I could probably get you somehow. And I could also, I made a movie of Michigan Women's Festival. I think we mentioned that. That's in fact, one of the pictures you'll see me sporting shorts and a tank top.
As you read through the interviews that we've done, you'll find many women were thinking and wishing that they were a boy, especially at that time when girls had to begin to think about wearing a bra, and they were not willing to lose that free feeling of not having covering on their chest. So it's sort of fun. It's sad, but it's fun, but it's real. And you're not alone, of course. You know that.
With my group of my friends, a lot of them do like being female and dressing up with dresses and everything.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Yeah, I know it's a choice. I just don't. Now, mind you, I did wear tailored suits when I was in advertising.
Was that when you were in college, was that your direction?
Oh, no. Well, not really. Well, when I went into college, I was actually going to become a school teacher. However, I saw a sign, disc jockeys wanted. And I took that path and became a disc jockey for the campus, and then went on to become radio advertising. I wrote and produced radio commercials.
Good. Did you do that in college? Is
Yeah.
that what okay.
Well, I was a disc jockey in college, but then to make money, I worked for KTYD Santa Barbara, and I sold advertising and wrote and produced the commercials. Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah. Sounds like you're very gregarious. It's a good quality.
No, I kind of am a little outgoing. we have a book club, right? And like 10 women, they're all sitting around, and we were reading the book about introverts. I forget the name of it, what it's called. It's an introvert book. And out of the 11 people in the room, I was the only extrovert.
Really?
Yeah, I'm amazing. I'm absolutely amazing.
So that was what they admitted anyway.
Yeah, they go introvert, extrovert, introvert.
That has a lot of responsibility with it, however.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have this innate ability, and I like my personality. I do well in the world. The problem, though, of being an extrovert is that you also have a very hidden side, which is very sensitive. So I can get out there and do things, but I have this empathic sometimes feeling of people. And anyway, if you get out in the world, you have to accept the world and you have to take in the world. So it's sometimes hard to be an extrovert.
So, okay, this is good, because remember, I'll remind you just in case, that we're trying to record our past to inspire the future. This is going to be archived at a college campus, Cal State Dominguez Hills. It's also going to UCLA. And so we're trying to advise young lesbians a good direction.
Yeah. I like that. Everybody needs help.
So that's good information. And I think too, just the knowing of the sort of like inner responsibilities of being an extrovert and being around an extrovert, not assuming that that extrovert can do and say everything that she wants to.
No.
There's a lot of assumptions that go.
A lot of assumptions. I don't know how to. I read people, and as a salesperson, I kind of mimic sometimes to make people feel comfortable. You mimic their actions a little bit.
That's interesting. How do you do that?
Well, right now you're leaning forward a little bit, and so I kind of would mirror you a little bit. If somebody puts if someone puts their elbow up, or if somebody sits back like this, or somebody goes like this, I don't really always cross my arms, but you can tell if somebody's like this, they kind of don't want you getting too close. Right. Anyway, so I kind of I observe people.
You feel like you're very intuitive?
Yes,
okay. I do. That goes with it, I think. So when you do the mirroring, how does that pay off for you?
Oh, I was top salesperson for 20 years in all my careers. And then I taught sixth graders. So I was selling them on enjoying school, and I got teacher of the year and stuff. So it's paid off. It's paid off. So
did you teach that to your sixth graders?
Drama, I did. I taught, I wrote and produced the drama curriculum and the speech and debate curriculum for our school. Yes, so I taught them.
Has being a lesbian always been a comfortable position for you?
No, not at all. No, Diane. Came out blaring, out of Chico, and then went, kind of into the world. For most of my life, until my 50s, most of my life, it was a don't ask, don't tell. My mom didn't ever really want to accept it. My dad never talked about it. Yet family was important to me, so I often went home without partners.
Huh.
At my work, I hid my pronouns. There was some angry times. Did you ever know the No on 6 Briggs campaign, where they were going to fire teachers for bringing up anything homosexual? Mm-hmm. So I was campaign manager for that in our county. No, it's not an easy route. Now, thank heavens on those days, though, that we had our cliques, we had our groups, we had the bars. The bars were really, really big back then. Great hop, and dances. We had dances, and we had a lot of activities in the subgroup of our group, and a lot of friendships that way. Again, I go back to finding that pack, finding those people to hang with. Yeah,
it's important.
Yeah. So no, I really, it's not been an easy route. Mm-hmm. However, I don't think I could have done any other route in my life. I thought about it. What would happen if I had gotten married? What would have happened? I would have been a miserable person, a miserable mother, a miserable spouse, and all my life I would have regretted it. So I chose. I want this path, but it's not been the easiest and not been accepted very much. But what do? You can't go against your grain.
Well, you can, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I mean, ultimately, you may hide it all your life, but then you're going to wake up at age 90 and say, "Oh my God, I could have had it. Could have had this." So
life is over.
Life is over. So, it's just again finding people that understand you. It's my core.
Well, that's good advice. I agree with that.
Yeah,
because there's a loneliness to coming out.
There is a loneliness.
A joy to it, but there is a loneliness, and to not have acceptance from your family.
Right.
Also.
And I didn't. No.
Okay. What did they say? Did you actually tell them? And then they said,
I told them when I was 20.
Did you tell them together?
No, just my mom. And she says, I'll tell your dad.
Right.
She never really didn't accept it she didn't accept it until Myra and I got married 14.
Did you invite her?
What's that? We invited her. She was in Maui. They didn't come. Then she accepted. And I was 54 years old. She accepted.
Wow.
I know.
How did you know she accepted it?
Well, she said, "I'm glad you found somebody that you love." And then she came to our reception. We had a party later on. She came to that. Great. And then she started saying, "Why don't you and Myra come over?" I mean, yeah. So finally, she started accepting things.
Was your dad still living then when you got married?
Yeah, yeah.
Did he ever accept it? No.
He started saying, "Why don't you and Myra come over too?"
Oh.
I call that acceptance.
Yeah.
Did he ever ask me questions? No. Did he ever embrace it? No.
Yeah.
Again, I couldn't pretend. I mean, okay, I didn't bring it up, but I couldn't change my life for them.
Right.
Right. So I kept true to myself, and ultimately it paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately. Now I know of some people's parents who have disowned them, and that's very sad.
Very sad for the parents too, just to lose that part of life.
Yeah,
it's been so important.
I know.
Maybe it wasn't so important.
Yeah,
that's another story.
I know. That's another story.
So now you're retired. Are you
retired? Happily.
Yeah. One of the reasons I asked about the film is we're trying to put links in after your interview so people can see what you've done, whether it's music or.
Sure. Yeah.
We have a lot of women that have written books. We have musicians. We're a talented group, as you know.
Yeah, I bet. I know.
So that's fun.
Yeah. It might take me a little bit, but I can ultimately try to get you some things. I'd like to do that.
Right. That would be fun. I really appreciated it because considering the legacy part of the project, we'd like you to go on forever.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. I just, with 25 boxes left to unpack because we just moved.
I hate moving. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Necessary, but it's arduous. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have questions you'd like to ask me?
No, I think it's a great thing to do, this project, because well, when I was young, I read the books like Well of Loneliness, Patience and Sarah, all those, not all the novels ended well. I think it's important that young people realize that, life gets better, and it's well worth it to hold yourself, do thine own self be true. I think it's really important to know that. So I guess my questions to you guys is, how long are these ultimate interviews? I didn't quite check. How are you going to edit them down to?
We try to edit it down to about 20 minutes, some are longer.
Okay.
It takes us a while to sort through everything
Mm-hmm.
and then come up with our edited version.
Good.
It's we keep the original,
Mhm.
The length one with greater length, but I think it's my personal thing. If I were young, and I was once, I like to get the short form of things.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to appeal to, that.
Yeah.
Tell me fast and I'll take it in, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You'll see the interviews, and really they're all on YouTube.
Yes. I plan to look
fun.
at that. Yeah.
They're fun. They're a gift. I think it's a gift to us, to all of us together. We just out of nowhere decided to try it because I was bored. It was COVID. We were sort of locked up, and we were retired.
Yeah.
I said, I like people's stories. So we started. And Marge is doing the editing, and we're learning.
Yeah.
We're medical people. We're not lone people. We have some good advisors, but and it's fun.
I'm with you. I love to make movies, and I love creating radio shows. So I totally understand.
Great. If you want to start a radio show, include us. We'd love it.
Okay. Yeah, I can put a little plug in. I'm right now doing a show on musicals, just like the history of musicals. Yeah.
We interviewed a young woman. We don't interview anyone younger than 30.
Okay.
Because we're not quite trusting of what could happen. We're trying to be protective of that person. Unfortunately, I don't want to jeopardize anyone's career in any way.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And when we do the women to having to hold your relationships, we don't want anybody to put their grandchildren in there and that kind of thing. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway, we interviewed Mary Ann Barlow. She's a musician.
Sounds familiar, but yeah.
She lives in Oakland. She's a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
music teacher. She's a singer. And so she's volunteered to take some of our information to her festival in October. So we need promoters, and we appreciate them.
Yeah, for sure. It's you got a lot. How do you reach out, right? How do you get this information to people?
That's right. And I think summer's a little slow. We've been pretty busy. We're not doing 10 million people a week because we couldn't do that. We wanted it to be a personal thing.
It's a lot of work, and a lot of work to interview too,
I like that part.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And we want to do roundtables. We have already done. One woman went through conversion therapy. And so her presentation is on the collection. Her name is Granado, Karen Granado. So,
poor gal.
A lot of women have gotten married and didn't stay that way.
Good. Got you married regularly? Okay, the hetero world, you mean? Oh yeah. A bunch of my friends didn't meet up till 50s. Oh yeah, a lot of people got married, children, and oh yeah.
This one woman was married 3 times, and then she said, "I turned 50." I said that was enough. She was married to men, so it would be good if that kind of thing could be a change that would come out of this. But people are going to make their own choices.
I don't know. And a lot of things have changed dramatically too, of course, bisexual and non-binary. And
I know just the verbiage.
Yeah, the verbiage has changed.
Really?
Yeah. I know.
So what have you liked the best of your life so far?
That's a great question. What do I like the best?
Thank you.
That's a really good question. Well, I like that I got married. I was very happy to get married, meet somebody. I think the best thing I like about my life is the wonderful, wonderful friends I have. Long-lasting, wonderful friends. Like I told you, Cheryl Hartley, my first kiss. And many of my 90% of my exes are still really good friends. And it's just wonderful to get together with them. And
that's interesting. We all do that. Keep our exes around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're our friends. And so I appreciate the friends. I just appreciate how wonderful people have been in my life. I think that's the best thing, that I'm accepted to who I am and not who they want me to be. Right. And I think that's the best part.
Good.
Friends.
It's a good part.
Yeah. Friends and relationships. So
if you consider this a legacy that we're doing now, how would you like to be remembered?
As a kind, loving soul. So always saw the best in people. I'd always look at people and say, you're beautiful. You're beautiful inside, outside. You're just a wonderful person, and you're the most important person in the world to me. I like people to know that I really, really sincerely care about people. Naively, perhaps, trusting a little too much, but I'd rather go in with love in my heart for people than hatred or, whatever, angst.
Right.
An open soul that looked at people and looked inside them and saw their beauty. That's what I want to remember.
That's great. It's interesting. The world is in such chaos, I feel, at this time. And when I ask that question, many people want to be remembered for their kindness.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd rather, something changed my life. Now, back in the young days, I was kind of a wild gal. I know it's hard to believe. It's really hard to believe.
You said that.
Shy, retiring, no. And I went out a lot. I partied, and partying is good. I like partying, but I calmed down. But I read a book that changed my life. 7 Steps to Successful Living. Have you read it? You've read it. It's Stephen Covey.
Yeah, I was going to say. Right. I
20 years old.
Probably. Yeah. Okay.
Like 25. But there's one line in that. I think it's number 4, number 5. How do you want your to be remembered when you're not living anymore? What is your obituary going to say? How do you want to be remembered at your funeral? And that just kind of shifted my whole life. I became a lot more dependable, a lot more everything, because I want to be remembered as a good soul, as a loving sister, as a great spouse. I want to be remembered as good things. And so in my 20s, with all the wildness, I didn't calm down till 30s. But anyway, I calmed down and started becoming that more responsible person that followed through and everything. So
I bet you've always been like that.
I've been
just approaching it differently.
Yeah. Well, but 20s and 30s. I mean, I think everybody, I think it's good to go out and play. I always will say, I'll drink to that.
Have a good time.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
But as long as you're, responsible and take good care of other people and follow through with what you say, I really strongly believe following through.
Yeah.
If I say something to you, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And people can count on that.
Okay. So I'll send my list.
Okay. Some of the pictures you're going to see are me playing softball and football. And I was always the coach. I'm
serious about needing your expertise. We could benefit from that.
From what can I do for you? What can I do?
And, people say, we should do a podcast. I think, well, that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
I know what a podcast is. No. We're feeling our way. So we want to do that, to have and to hold. We'll contact you about you and Myra.
Yeah, definitely. Myra and I can talk to you.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll do that in September, back to school time.
Good. The one thing about couples, when I was a young gal, again, I go back to those days, there was a lot of breakups. And partly I feel there was a lot of breakups because society did not accept us as a unit. And so internal homophobia, right? Which would cause to pull apart. The straight couples have much more of an acceptance. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but it was hard to, there's not a lot of long lasting gay relationships out there. I mean, there's a lot of breakups and stuff when I was a young person because we weren't supported in the world. So just FYI, that's my feeling.
Right. No, but in this, you'll see the women we've interviewed, a lot of them have been in very long-term relationships.
Right. I'm sure there is. I got some great friends here, 30 years. They've been together a long time. I have really good friends that long time.
You can tell them all. We'd love to interview them.
Okay. I have, yeah.
I'll send you some information.
I got some doozies. I got some,
Good.
yeah.
I can handle it.
I kind of know a few.
Well, I'll say goodbye. And
Okay. Diane, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much. And you guys take care.
You too.
And be good out there. All right.
See you in September. Thank
Okay.
you.
See you in September.
Bye.
Bye-bye.